Hi there. So in exercise 6 of our PHP program, what we're going to do is use an if statement with an else construct, so if else, to try and control a little bit more what's going on with the PHP. So we're going to try and execute different things depending on the different selections that a user's made. So different things according to different circumstances. So it's a really important part of PHP programming. So what we're going to do is carry on working on our little order form that we've got going on, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to order one mini sort gift set so we can see what's going on, and then down here what we've got is a set of 3 radio buttons where I can select a different postage method. So I can select a time delivery slot for £10, first class delivery for £5, or second class delivery for £3. So when I click on buy now, it calculates the total price depending on which delivery method I've chosen. So now I've chosen a time delivery slot for £10, so I've got a £20 total cost. If I choose first class, my total cost is £15, and if I choose second class with a £3 P&P, my total cost is £10 for the gift plus £3 for the postage and package. Okay, so as usual, I'm going to make my folder EXO6, and for this I've actually copied all of my files from exercise 5 into the exercise 6 folder, and I'm going to have a little look at my index file, which is the one that contains the form. So all of this is the same as before. The thing that's different is down at the bottom here we've got select your postage method. So we've got an input type here, and the type is radio. So this is a radio button, so the browser will automatically pop up a radio button for us, and by using the same name here for each of the 3 radio buttons, the browser understands that these 3 buttons are connected together. So the browser will only allow me to select one radio button at any one time. So the browser will take care of that for me, and these values here, the time value, the first and the second, are the values that the radio button will have when either this or this or this is selected. And finally, I can use this word checked here to make the first radio button checked when the browser actually displays the page at the beginning or at the start. Okay, so that's where we are with the postage method on my index page. What I now need to do is look at my PHP processing page. So if I go to here we are, exercise 6 process.php, then what we can see is this is my page from exercise 5. So I'm just quickly going to change that to say exercise 6, and here are my variables and the postage and package for my £25 limit from exercise 5. So of course the first thing that I'm going to do is check that I've got everything in place. So if I go to my web page for exercise 6, again on my local host, so you might have to use FileZilla to copy your files up to the server and check on the server properly. I'm just going to put a value in here, and I'm just going to select a time delivery slot. I'm going to click on buy now just to check that I actually go through to my correct processing page, so we can see that the total cost for my order is £15. It should be 20, but I haven't written the code yet, so this is still from exercise 5, adding £5 to the order to get me my total cost. So if I now go back to here where I have my processing page, there's a couple of things that I need to do here. So I no longer have P and P as a variable, so I have 3 different postage values. So I have one which I'm going to call timed, which I'm going to give the value 10 to. I'm going to make another variable, which is another postage variable called first for first class, which is equal to 5. And I'm going to make a final variable, second, which is equal to 3. So those are my prices that I'm going to need later. And then the other thing that I need to do, of course, is I need to get the postage from my form. So I'm going to put postage in a variable called postage, and I'm going to use $_post because I'm going to retrieve the value from the form using the post method. I don't need to use the int in front of this because what's coming back from the form is a string. It's going to be the string timed, the string first, or the string second. So I don't need int because it's not a number. So I'm going to go to my index page and find the name of my radio buttons, radio postage or rad postage, and I'm going to paste that into here. Okay, so if you're not very confident, it will be a good idea to use the echo command just to check that we're getting that back correctly. In fact, it might be a good idea if I just quickly did that now. So echo $postage. So if I do that, this will just allow us to see what exactly is coming back from the form. So if I go down to my forms, I've got time delivery slot here. When I go by now, we can see that I've got something called timed popping up here. I've got an error on line 43. That's just because I'm part way through processing, so I've got an undefined variable P and P, which I'm not using right now. So if I was to correct that, just so that we can see what's happening, let me just comment out these 3 lines. Okay, and that will get rid of that error. So that variable is something I'm playing around with at the moment. So if I go back to this and do it again, by now you can see that the value has come through for the radio button as timed. If I change it to first class, it now comes through as the word first or the string first, and if I change it to second, you can see it comes through as the string second. So I can now use an if statement to check what the value of that variable actually is and do different things according to what value comes through. So let me delete my temporary debugging there, and here I'm now going to insert my if statement. So this time what I'm checking is the value of this variable called postage, and I want to check if that value is equal to the string timed. So what's important about this is that there are 2 equal signs here. So this is a really critical thing. We came across it last year in JavaScript. It's exactly the same in PHP. If we're doing a test, which is what this is, then we use 2 equal signs. If $postage is equal to timed, 2 equal signs because it's a test. If we're doing assignment like we're doing here, it's 1 equal sign. This value is equal to that plus that times that. So if it's assignment, it's 1 equal sign. If it's test, it's 2 equal signs. It's really important to remember this because putting 1 equal sign here will not get you the result you expect, but it is actually valid PHP. So what do we want to do if the value is timed? We want to add the variable value $p_time, so the £10 postage. So that will add our £10 if the user has selected a timed postage. Otherwise, if they haven't selected that, else we want to do another test that says if $postage is equal to first, then what we're going to do here is go $cost is equal to $cost plus $p_first, semicolon. So again, we're using two equal signs here for if postage equals first. And then finally, we're just going to put an else statement, which is what we're going to do in the final circumstance, which is if it's not one of the first two things, it must be second class delivery. So $cost is equal to $cost plus $p_second. So now we've done that, we have calculated the cost using an if statement that does different things depending on what the user has selected. So if we're to save that and go back to our web page, so now for first class delivery, buy now, I've got £20, for second class delivery £15, and for second class delivery £3. So that shows you how you can use an if else type of structure to control and do different things at different times on your web